トロントの仏教会の4月行ってないそう4月この4月から仕事始めた橋本と言います。日本から来ました。よろしくお願いします。もう2時になりましたよね。もう2時になりましたよね。なんとも言えないですよ。他のところ行ってって言われたらカナダの他のところに行くんです。まあでもなるべく長くいるとは思います。日本からです。でも住みやすいですけど、お寺が今お寺がね今ねちょっと忙しくて1人しか僕いないんですよ今お坊さん。もともとずっと2人いたのが1人しかいないんで。カナダ生まれのやっぱり BC の方の生まれですか？ブリティッシュコロンビアの方の生まれ。やっぱりそうですよね。Can we start? Yes. Oh no. 何万ダブツ。ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、何万ダ仏、何万ダ仏、何万ダ仏、何万ダ仏、何万ダ仏、何万ダ仏、何万ダ仏。Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the celebration service of Mrs. Chizuko Uyeyama. I'm a Reverend Hashimoto of Tondo Buddhist Church. Today's service, firstly, we will chant Sambujo, followed by chanting Shoshinge. During the Shoshinge, please come to the offering incense. Please come to the Oshoko. And after that, I do the Dharma talk. Today's service is that's it. Okay? And we will start. Please put our hands together. Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Bujo Mida Nyorai Niu no Jo Ki myo
しいこおぞぼさついにじ財政自在お部所道県小仏浄土院国土人間自然幕根流無常主所願長発慶右大偶勢五個私有死小樹十世名所門実法不法無量無変更無碍無体公園の少女間に知恵子不断難事無所故超日学校精進説一切群上無故所本願名号少女語死心信行がに上等学書大涅槃一死滅度願成就如来所以公修正唯説弥陀本願会五辱悪事群上会お信如来如実言納発一年期愛心不断本の徳涅槃凡上薬法再永入如修死入海一味摂取信仰上昇後意の水波無明暗どんない心臓死有無上不真実信心天異如日光不無無死へ妙無暗薬心謙虚大狂気即応超絶語悪臭一切全幕本部人門心如来偶勢願仏言古代小耶者税人名踏んだりけ弥陀仏本願念仏邪見狂慢悪衆生信用十字人に難難中死難昔 陰の祭天子論下中華自治生きしこそ現代諸公聖書意明如来本税置き釈迦如来両が千一種五名南天竺龍樹大寺出頭世質の財派有無権先絶大乗無情報召喚二次小安楽賢治南行六六信行異行指導楽億年弥陀仏本願次年即時入筆上唯の上昇如来語応報大悲偶税の天神菩薩増論説奇妙無下公如来永衆たら見真実光鮮王朝大誓願こういう本願力栄光移動群上小一心記入功徳大崩壊一逆入大永修修徳子蓮華造世界即所信用法精進有本農林現人図入所自音自応へ本師鈍乱両天使上皇乱生菩薩来三蔵ルシ十条教本行専用気楽法天神菩薩論中へ報道因果見世願応言猫ゆたり少女死因唯心人惑前文無信心没承知生じ即涅槃一子無量光明度小修上回復家同社結晶道南省唯名浄土活入万全自力変言集円満徳語感染症三不三神慶音音増末放滅道品一生増悪 ちぐぜしあんにょうがいしょうみょうか全道読名仏性意公愛上三要約悪公明明語権因年概入本願第一回行者少女今後心教期一年総合用意大と逆三人即所保証市上楽原神公開一大教返帰安女官一切先祖終身反戦人法家二度小弁流極重悪に唯小物が薬剤非摂取中煩悩証言水不見大非無権上昇が本資元空明仏教連民全幕本無人新宗教書後編集戦弱本願具悪性現来生じ輪年下決知異常異常し即入弱上無意楽一致新人意の入愚教大事終始と上際無変極上悪同族自主愚道心有意化心死高創説ナマンダウナマンダウナマンダウナマンダウナマンダウナマンダウがんにしくどく平等正祭道 愛心おうじょう安楽こ Please join me in 合唱. Please put our hands together. ナモアミダ仏。ナモアミダ仏。ナモアミダ仏。ナモアミダ仏。ナモアミダ仏。ナモアミダ仏。ナモアミダ仏。I'll do the Dharma talk. Welcome to the celebration service of Mrs. Chizuko Uyeyama, whose Buddhist name is Buddha of Aspiration to Pure Land, Shaku Gujo in Japanese. She received the Buddhist name at 2005. She received from the head minister of Nishihonganji, our mother temple in Kyoto. She received from the head minister. Shaku Gujo, that means the Buddha of aspiration to Pure Land. When you look back on her life, her personality and achievement are deeply engraved in your heart. Her way of life is a great example for us all and will be an unforgettable memory. I believe that all of you here today are people who met her at some point in her life. We are born into this world by a karma that transcends our own will, and each of us lives your own life that cannot be changed by others in various relationships with family, friends, and so on. In such relationships, through wonderful encounters, you have met her. On the other hand, meeting someone inevitably means that one day you will have to part ways. There's nothing more painful than losing someone close to us. The Buddha recognized this as a form of suffering, known as the pain of separation from a loved one. No matter how deeply we love someone and wish to remain together, it is the nature of this world that we must part from those who love. Even though we understand this truth, the grief of losing a loved one is not easily healed by time. However, there is something that teaches us that this separation is not eternal. The teaching is the teaching of Amida Buddha, the teaching of Jodo Shinshu, the teaching of our sect. Today, I want to go into the difficult part of Buddhism. If you ask what kind of Buddha Amida Buddha is, the Buddha is the one who gives us a place where we can meet again. I think that some of you here today are not familiar with Buddhism. So today, I'd like everyone to listen to the purpose of the Jodo Shinshu sect of Buddhist service. The first is that it is a place where we can praise the life of the deceased to the fullest. Amida Buddha wished to help all those as they are and lead them to the Pure Land, the world of enlightenment. And Amida Buddha continues to work according to that wish. We call this wish the primal vow. Those who encounter the primal vow of Amida Buddha will definitely be reborn in the Pure Land through the working of that primal vow. Therefore, let's praise the fact that Mrs. Uyeyama was born into this world, lived her life, and was reborn in the Pure Land. Second, service is not a ceremony to say goodbye, but a ceremony to promise to meet again. Since Jodo Shinshu is the teaching of becoming a Buddha in the Pure Land, we are reunited with those who have already passed away there. So this separation is not an eternal separation. We are listening today to a true teaching that tells us so. Third, we are taught that fragility of our days on the occasion of our loved one's service. When we think about the world, many people are dying every second. However, unfortunately, we don't think about the deaths that happen in places that have nothing to do with us. It's only when someone close to you passed away that you realize that fragility of life. We usually take it for granted that we are alive, but is not it actually a strange thing to be alive? Our lives are so busy. We are distracted from the very natural fact that our lives come to the end. We often forget about the fragility of life. Each of us is reminded of this fact when a loved one passed away. The service gives us time to face the fact that we too will eventually die. Amida Buddha wished us to believe that no matter when, where, or how our life ends, that is the time when we will be born into the Pure Land. So I take it that through this service, Mrs. Uyeyama tells us to encounter the teaching of Amida Buddha, who knows where this fragility life is going. This can also be seen as the work of the deceased who became a Buddha through the compassion of Amida Buddha. Is it a coincidence that her service was held today, that it was held in Jodo Shinshu Buddhist time, and that you all attended this service? The answer is no. I feel that she led us to Jodo Shinshu Buddhism as a Buddha. She is our guiding light to the truth. The essence Amida Buddha's primary vow for our rebirth in the Pure Land is in the phrase, encapsulated in the phrase, Namo Amida Butsu. Amida Buddha has prepared not only the Pure Land, but also the place where we can continue to connect with our loved one. This is Namo Amida Butsu. Please cherish the Namo Amida Butsu along with the memory of your loved one. Living a life with reciting the Namo Amida Butsu, reciting the name Butsu, is a way to ensure that the death of loved one is not in vain and that our grief does not remain solely as sorrow. Thank you for listening. Please join me in Gasho. Please put our hands together. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Lastly, I read the letter of Renyo, the white ash. I read in Japanese. それ人間の不祥なる相互をつらつら感ずるにおよそ儚きものはこの世の始終中幻のごとくなるいちごなりさればいまだ漫才の人参を受けたりということを聞かず一生過ぎやすし 今に至って誰か100年の領体を持つべきや、我や先人や先、今日とも知らず、明日とも知らず。遅れ先立つ人は、元の雫末の梅雨よりも茂しと言えり。されば明日には高岩あって、夢には白骨となれるみなり。すでに無常の風来たりぬれば、すなわち二つの眼たちまちに閉じ、一つの息長く耐えぬれば、高岩虚しく返じて、通りの装いを失いぬる時は、六神眷属集まって嘆き悲しめども、さらにその会あるべからず。さてしもあるべきことならねばとて、野外に送って、弱の煙となし果てぬれば、ただ白骨のみぞ残れり。哀れというもなかなか愚かなり。されば人間の儚きことは、老少不浄の境なれば、誰の人も早く御生の一大事を心にかけて、阿弥陀仏と深く頼み参らせて、念仏申すべきものなり。あなかしこ、あなかしこ。Please join me in 合唱。Please put our hand together. ナモ阿弥陀仏。ナモ阿弥陀仏。ナモ阿弥陀仏。ナモ阿弥陀仏。ナモ阿弥陀仏。ナモ。Thank you for listening. The service is concluded. Nama. This is Buddhist name and home card. Please cherish the card. Nama. Japanese called 浄土の道 English the way to the pure land. She loved that song.
Thank you, Reverend Hashimoto, for the lovely service. Mom was really proud to be a Buddhist, so thank you very much for being here today. And as the Reverend mentioned, this was Mom's favorite hymn. We couldn't find a recording of it anywhere, so very lucky that my good friend and talented composer, Ari Poser, he recorded this rendition for us, and so thank you. It really is beautiful. Thank you so much. Would make Mom so happy. So I just want to start by saying that living with a mom who was traditional and yet untraditional wasn't always easy. She made us crazy, insisting that girls learn cooking and cleaning, boys do the garbage. And that was mainly because our life was unconventional. Mom was stay-at-home mom, but Dad also helped with the house chores and the kids and the cooking. So we grew up in a time that was kind of different. On the flip side, she insisted that girls be independent and that we should learn to handle our own finances. She loved to laugh. Very affectionate. She didn't mind us playing pranks on her. We played a lot of them on her over the years. She never really spoke of bad times and believed in putting good things out into the universe. She was a huge supporter of charities, and she insisted that we make our donations even when we didn't have any money. She said there was always someone out there who was less lucky than us. She had no fear. She grabbed each opportunity with joy and excitement. Shortly after our parents married, my Uncle George, who was my dad's youngest brother, took her to a Leafs game at Maplewood Gardens. And she decided it was a good idea to meet Foster Hewitt. So she climbed up to the gondola. And years later, he remembered her. He said no woman had ever done that. She loved playing slot machines at the casino. And we spent hours looking for her. She thought nothing of winning a jackpot and then losing it. She always gave us our lucky money, but the joy was in playing. She loved to bowl, she loved to travel. Mom loved to sing and socialize. Her flower garden was her pride and joy, and she would be out there all day long. More than anything though, Mom loved food. When she talked about her years in Japan during the war, it was about food. The delicious noodles that the neighbors would make, and how she would sneakily get seconds. How our Aunt Akiko would buy her a meal, and she would ask for seconds. She loved carrots, and she would steal them from her neighbor's gardens. And cream soda always made her happy because it reminded her of the time that she would stare at it longingly in the military PX. Growing up, our home was always filled with the smell of her cooking and her baking. Eventually, Dad could no longer work, so Mom rejoined the workforce, and she worked her way up to becoming the robota chef at Nami Japanese restaurant. She loved her extensive family, Nami family, and cooking for her guests. Mom also had celebrity radar. One day she asked the man if he was the nanu guy, and he said no. But as he was leaving, he did his work greeting and said, "I'll catch you next time." So we hope they're up there together having a good life right now. She also didn't understand why women loved Mick Jagger until she cooked dinner for him. And she came home saying she changed her mind. He knew how to talk to women and was sexy. We had never heard her say that word before. And as much as she loved eating, she loved sharing her food and constantly bugs us to take some from her plate. This past winter, we planned how she would spend the summer in the garden, and we would have bento picnics, bento box picnics. But she took ill in the spring. Mom taught us to love, to always do the right thing, and to enjoy each day as life is short. We were so lucky to have her to 91. Mom, we love you so much, and know you and Dad are our angels and looking after us. Thank you for a life well lived and your unending love. Enjoy your heavenly party. We can hear the singing the bowling balls from here.
Konnichiwa, minasan. Hello. Hello. My name is Shinichi Robert Atagi. I'd like to thank all of you for attending Chizuko Uyeyama's service. As for Chizuko, I met her in Japan way back in the, I think it was 45 or so. She was about second grade or higher than me at school, but their family, Chizuko, and she had another sister, and who was the other one? But anyway, when I came to Toronto, it was 1957. That's when I really met Chiz and her husband. I was invited to her wedding a long time ago, but ever since we became friends, and well, her husband used to be my football buddy. We used to go to football together, and it was just like related. We were just like related couple. You know, I lost Mac at the same time, and I lost Chiz. Looks like I'm more crazy, but tried to hold on to it, and I'm glad I met all these friends, relatives, and I'd like to just say thank you very much for attending this day. Greg, Joanne.
Thank you, Uncle. We love you, Uncle.
Yeah, that's my father. I just want to reiterate, thank you all for coming to memorialize Chizuko Uyeyama today. My name is Bertham Katsuki Ategi. I'm the middle of a family of, well, 7 but 5 kids. I'm the middle. I got elected to do a little speaking. But mine's very short. I just wanted to say that, yes, my father has known Chizuko for a long time. She saw us grow up as kids, and we came to know her as Auntie Chiz. She was like a second mother to us. She was a kind, caring, big-hearted person. That's what we saw. As kids, you would see that, or even now, with every time we visit, we'd be like, oh, there's another cat. That's the big-hearted cat. But she was just bringing those little cats because she just had that heart. For myself, I think in my family, I will always remember her for those New Year's gatherings that she did in her home, inviting anybody and everyone to pop in, say hello, have a quick bite. She was such a great hostess. I think all families have that family member where they're a social butterfly, and I am a planner, and that I see as Aunt Chiz. So Today, Aunt Chiz, in my heart, would not want us to mourn, but to celebrate her life like it's a New Year's. She will always live in our hearts and in our memories. God bless. Thank you.
Hi everyone. It's hard to believe that I've been friends with Joanne for close to 40 years now. And with that friendship, I became part of the Uyeyama family. Sorry. Today we're here to celebrate Chiz, a truly incredible woman who made such a difference in many of our lives. She definitely made a difference in mine and my son Elliot's life. First off, Chiz had this amazing way of making you feel like part of her family from the moment you walked in the door. You see, it started when I had only spoken to Joanne on the phone when we were both working at CAA, and I would call Joanne to get the daily exchange rate for traveler's checks. Wow, things have changed. It was Christmas, and she asked what I was planning, and I told her I would be spending it in Toronto with my son, who I was raising alone. She immediately invited me to the house, and Elliot and I celebrated Christmas, and then of course, New Year's Day. I'll never forget the Japanese New Year celebrations, where Chiz was thrilled to display all the different foods. Many were foreign to Elliot and I at the time, maybe still some. So much food, and she made sure to explain the symbolism behind each dish to us. Elliot was very young then, and he loved the food so much that Japanese cuisine is his favorite to this day, and in fact, he's visited Japan twice now, and I'm pretty sure Chiz had that influence on him. She also welcomed Dan, my husband, into their home, and when he entered our lives. And I will always fondly remember those days, also with Charles Chip at the table, and all the stories on that Japanese New Year day. Chiz was like a second mom to me, especially since my own family was in Montreal. Her home was always a safe haven, and I loved seeing her and her husband Mac walking down the street holding hands, just like my parents would. It was such a sweet sight. One day my parents and I visited the family, and Chiz was proud to show the beautiful peach tree in the backyard. The four of them had such a great time laughing and picking the peaches. And I know my mom couldn't fill enough bags of peaches. We had to pull her away. They were from two very different backgrounds, but our parents were so similar. One thing I'll always remember is how she would stand by the door waving goodbye to Joanne and I when we'd go on our little driving trips. She'd remind us to be careful, but I'm pretty sure she was never very confident with my driving. Now, I have a funny story to tell, because I'm unsure whether to tell it, but anyhow, I'll go for it. Okay, well, one time, Chiz, Joanne, and I were driving, and we got hit up by this squeegee guy at a traffic light, Bathurst Queen, I think it was, who decided to pull down his pants and flash us and be very inappropriate. Well, we were screaming and laughing as I drove off as fast as possible. After all, this was my best friend's mom in the back seat with a full view of this guy. Yeah, I remember later that day, Chiz was in the kitchen telling her friends all about it in Japanese. We didn't know what they were saying, but we could only imagine because of their hand gestures using to describe the situation. They were hilarious. Anyhow, Chiz also taught me how to make mochi for Japanese New Year. And I remember struggling and screaming at handling the hot rice because with your hands. And she laughed and told me I should probably forget it because this was not one of my strengths. It's these little moments that really showed her generosity and her sense of humor. Chiz will be remembered for her warmth, her amazing cooking, and how she made everyone feel special. We'll miss her a lot, but we're grateful for the joy and the love she brought into our lives, and she'll always be a part of us. Thank you. Lisa.
Hi. For those who don't know me, I'm Lisa Matsunaga. Chiz is my great aunt. There's absolutely nothing in there. So if you can't hear me, just poke me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get loud here. All right. So when Joanne asked me to say a few words, I was deeply honored, but also a little worried. I didn't grow up in Toronto, so I don't have a lot of personal memories and stories about Auntie Chiz. And I thought, well, how am I going to do her justice? But then I realized I was being foolish, which is a pretty often thing for me, so like, don't worry about that. With Auntie Chiz, she gave quality over quantity, and oh boy, did she leave a huge, huge impression. To paraphrase Maya Angelou, I may not remember the particulars of what she said or what she did, but I'll never forget how she made me feel and how she shaped my outlook. Now my dad, I've got two memories here that I'm going to share. My dad used to bring me to Toronto in the summer when I was a kid. So one day, he said we were going to visit some of his favorite relatives. He brought me to a small house with greenery outside. It seemed, once I got inside, it seemed so much bigger than what it seemed outside. I mean, it had so many knickknacks, it had the cats, but most of all, it had Auntie Chiz and that incredible warmth and generosity that she always brought to everything she did. I saw her teasing my dad, and she had those twinkling eyes that she had. And all of a sudden, I just felt at ease because I was a pretty shy kid when I was little. She's one of those rare, very rare combinations of a very quick wit, warmth, kindness, but strength, solid strength. Even as a child, I could sense that she was a true matriarch. As she regaled us with funny stories about her work at the restaurant, it was one of the first times as a child I can remember outside my dad thinking, wow, here's an adult that's really joyful about her work. You know, maybe I can do that. You know, maybe I can have that attitude going forward. Second story is actually one from my Aunt Lynn. So thank you for that, Aunt Lynn. On the day my Uncle Carmen was passing away, some of the family gathered at the hospital. And there was Lori, Joanne, and Aunt Chiz. And they were trying to get him to wake up. Didn't work, but Aunt Chiz was Aunt Chiz. And she said something like, Carmen, you got 3 beautiful women here who are waiting for you to teach them line dance. Wake up already. That just showed her zest for life and her attitude. Okay, so you're thinking now, all right, what's the takeaway? And it actually came to me when I was viewing that lovely video, and whoever did that did a really, really good job. I kept going back to one picture, one just stuck in my mind, the one with Auntie Chiz and B. Arthur, right? So for those unfamiliar, B. Arthur was an American actress, and she was famous for shows like Golden Girls and Maude, but she was also a very acclaimed stage actress, and one of her biggest hits was called Mame. It's a story about a very eccentric, down-on-her-luck socialite taking care of her little nephew while maintaining her zest for life. And then it came to me, you know, Auntie Shiz really, she exemplified the concept of shogunai, you know, but with her own anti-mame twist, if that makes sense. I mean, like an interpretation of shogunai is that resilience, that ability to deal with problems, adapt to change, overcome obstacles, and resist pressure and adverse situations. And she did all of that. But like Annie Mame, she just enjoyed the ride. She always made room for the pleasures in life. She had that zest. And her kids share that. That generosity of spirit, that quick wit, and the kindness. We're all gonna miss her, but it's impossible not to smile whenever we think of her. And I know wherever she is, they're blessed to be in her presence, as we were. Annie Chiz, thank you for everything, and love you forever.
Hi, my name is Craig Uyeyama. I'm one of Auntie Chiz's nephews. I'm going to say it's extremely difficult to imagine a world where Auntie Chiz is no longer with us. She's always been here. She was my mother's sister, who was also married to my father's brother. So she's always been nearby in the lives of our family. When I close my eyes, I can still hear the sound of her laughter. I can hear her voice. I don't know what she's saying because it's in Japanese. And I can picture in my head the lavish feast that she would put together every New Year's Day. And everybody seems to talk about this New Year's Day feast. But I remember so many people in her house. And I remember just the biggest spread of Japanese food I have ever seen. And I may not have fully appreciated how much work and effort it took to do it back then, but I really do now. And it was just an amazing sight. My first memory of sushi is from when she would cook the sushi rice at her house. And I remember this really strong smell of vinegar, and it just permeated the whole house. And I remember it because I really hate vinegar. And it would be years before I ate sushi. But I don't blame her. You know, we all know that Auntie Chiz was a great cook. She was the Robata chef at Nami. Mom and Dad and Grand and I would go to Nami and sit near her at the Robata grilling station and watch her masterfully work with food and fire and sharp utensils, and all the while chit-chatting and making her customers laugh and have the time of their lives. To this day, when I see enoki mushrooms, I think of her grilling them with a little butter and a bit of salt, and some days I can almost bring myself to buy them. Well, at least for other people, because I don't like mushrooms. Auntie Chiz loved three things, as everybody's pointed out: family, food, and laughter. She was cheeky, and she was quicker than she sometimes let on. Once when Uncle Mitz took us all on a drive to Vancouver Island, we stopped to refuel, and Auntie Chiz asked if he got a good price on gas. And he said, yeah, price was good. And without missing a beat, she piped up with, "Get extra." Well, we still use that line to this day when we get a good price on gas. Get extra. And when I tell you that she was clever, when my wife Jacqueline joined the family, Auntie Chiz welcomed her with open arms. But she was a bit confused when she learned that Jack worked at the city of Vaughan with my brother Grant. She was and still is the only one to ask Jacqueline, if you met Grant first, why are you with him? That was a very astute observation. And I like to think it's because I'm the better looking brother. And we'll just leave it at that. Years later, Jacqueline, Claire, and I would be lucky to enjoy the company of Lori, Joanne, and Chiz at our house for Christmases. And there were so many years when our dining room table could barely fit us all. And so often she was a source of laughter, quick with a loving smile, and a great source of joy and love to me and my family. There are too many memories of Auntie Chiz ever to be forgotten. And Jacqueline, Claire, and I will think of her cheeky little giggles, especially when we get gas at a good price and want to get extra. Thank you.
Well, I get to read messages from people who are out of town or couldn't attend. So it is a deep grief and loss to hear the passing of our Oba-chan, but also it's a great gratitude to have known such a beautiful lady in my life. I met Oba-chan at Nami Japanese restaurant where I worked 35 years ago. She was the most loving and loved person and taught me important polite manners. She is gone, but is still giving me the benefit of her faith and her love and her wisdom. There is no doubt that she will be missed by a number of people who have known her and who were touched by her. I am confident that Oba-chan is enjoying a fullness of life. May her gentle soul rest in the eternal peace and happiness. Reverend Eiko Hosaka. I remember your mom talking about the cannery and being a nanny. I didn't see her very often, but I remember her laugh and not to call the house during a Leafs game. She was a straight talker, and I'll miss her. Cousin Midori. I remember my husband, George Holland, talking about how your parents loved bowling. Cousin Ken and George used to bowl with and against them, and then went to their place to play cribbage. George was so proud of the leather jacket that your mom helped get him from the coat factory. He loved that leather jacket, and your mom as well. Thanks for George's memories, Auntie Chiz. Love you from the both of us, Cousin Karen. Oops. Our dad, Ray Matsunaga, was Aunt Chiz's nephew and spent a lot of time with her and Uncle Mac, especially when he was a student at Ryerson and at the University of Toronto. Even after he married our mom, Shirley, and started a family, he continued to visit them. We have fond memories of dropping by their home when we were always welcomed with delicious food and warm, loving hugs. I recall one particular time when our dad was looking after his grandson, Robert, by himself. He took Robert for a drive so he could meet his great-great-aunt Chiz. As we reflect on these moments, we are grateful to have such cherished memories of our time together. Aunt Chiz was generous, warm-hearted, and kind, with a positive, lively, and sparkling personality. It's no wonder she was so successful as a robota chef at Nami Japanese restaurant, where she was often photographed with celebrities. It was always a joy to visit her there and see her in action. She was a friend to both people and animals. She adopted many cats and even tried to befriend a chipmunk. Aunt Chiz and Uncle Mac were a lovely couple, and you could feel the love in their home. While we will miss Auntie Chiz deeply, it brings comfort to know that she and Uncle Mac are together once again. Cousins Darren and Nadine. Sending our deepest condolences to you for the loss of your beloved mother, Chiz. We have many fond memories of times spent listening to her stories and laughing alongside of her. She will be deeply missed and always cherished in our hearts. Much love. And Auntie Keiko, Michael, and Diane. Lynn and I wanted to share some memories with you about your mom. As you know, the two of us traveled to Japan in October 1990 with an entourage that included our mom and dad, both our grandmas, Hamanishi and Sakai, a great uncle and great aunt, and our three aunts, Akiko, Chiz, and Tosh. It was quite the group. We suspected we mainly invited along so we could be the pack mules, since we're the youngest and could carry all the luggage up and down the train station stairs. So many stairs. We had such a great time meeting lots of relatives, seeing the sights, and eating delicious meals, including picking kaki, persimmons, right off the trees. Your mom always was smiling. She could not resist getting some cactus ice cream from a big cactus garden there, as well as trying some eggs that were cooked in the boiling waters of the onsen hot springs. But one of our favorite memories is watching her take photos of pretty much every meal she had there. She is the original foodie, and we love that about her. We miss her dearly. Love, Sharon and Lynn. We were all very saddened to hear of your mom's sudden passing. We'll never forget her infectious laugh and tremendous warmth every time we saw her. May your happy memories with her comfort you during this very difficult time. We are thinking of you and sending hugs your way. Love, Auntie Kay, Mark, Linda, Janine, Derek, and Natalia, Steve, Tatiana, and Max, Sharon and Warren, Lynn and Chris. And finally, your mom was very special to me. Although we have been separated by distance, we spent many happy hours chatting on the phone. I cherish those hours. Just hearing her cheerful voice was uplifting, and our conversations brought lots of smiles and laughter. She had such a joyful outlook on life. She was such a lot of fun. We had good memories together, and I will miss my sister very much. Samashi Nata is lonelier now. Love, Auntie Akiko. So I wanted to thank everybody for coming, whether they were here in person or watching online, and for everyone who said loving, thoughtful memories and warm thoughts to us. We really appreciate it. And if you have the time to spend, please join us downstairs for refreshments, because my mom loved food. She would really appreciate people to spend time, bonding together. Thank you. All right, downstairs.
They should get up.
you.